Good evening, guys. My name is Hedel Ibrahim Sani. You are all welcome to Sports Connect. We are back again to give you the latest in the world of sports, and always to get all exclusives in the world of sports. You have to just do one thing, and that is you should subscribe to Blackout Media on YouTube. Follow, comment, share, and you will always be the first person to get all exclusives so far as the sports world is concerned. In today's video, we'll be talking about the World Cup. So far as the World Cup is still ongoing, all other news will come later. But we'll be giving you all the details, all records obtained in the group stages so far as the World Cup is concerned. And as we all know, for the first time in the history of the World Cup, it has moved from 32 teams to 48. What it means is that from Group A to Group L, after picking out the first two winners, that's the first and the second in each group, we picked 8 teams whose points are good. And then they will join the 24 in order to play the round of 32. All is set after the group stage. And before we even bring about the records or start with the records, we will first of all give you all teams which were or who qualified from their various groups. And in Group A, Mexico and South Africa qualified in Group A. And also in Group B, we got Switzerland and Canada who also qualified, with Bosnia and Herzegovina also qualifying as a third best team. In Group C, we got Brazil and Morocco who managed to qualify with 7 points each. And also Group D, USA, Australia and Paraguay qualifying, because Paraguay qualified as a third best team, do not forget. In Group E, we got the Diamond Shaft of Germany and Ivory Coast who managed 6 points each, and Ecuador coming on third with 4 points. They also managed to qualify at the end of the group stage. Netherlands, Japan, and Sweden also qualified from Group F. And in Group G, Belgium, Egypt, unfortunately for Iran, they couldn't qualify because Senegal had a better goal head-to-head compared to that of Iran. In Group H, Spain qualified with 7 points. Cape Verde, their first ever World Cup, managed to qualify with 3 points. Interestingly, Uruguay and Saudi Arabia couldn't make it or didn't qualify from that group. France, Norway, and Senegal qualified from Group I. Senegal managed to beat Iraq by 5-0 in the last game, being the first African team to ever win a World Cup match with 5 goals or more in a match. Also in Group J, Argentina, Austria, and Algeria managed to qualify. In Group K, it was Colombia who topped the group, Portugal, and DR Congo. In Group L, it was England 7 points, Croatia 6 points, and almighty Ghana came up on third with 4 points, and they also qualified with that. And these are the teams that were able to qualify from the group stages so far as the World Cup is concerned. Do not forget, Africa came with 10 teams, 10. And at the end of the group stages, they managed to, or 9 teams managed to qualify out of 10. So this is also, or this is a very good news for Africa. And for the first time ever in history, Egypt, Ivory Coast, Cape Verde, also DR Congo and South Africa qualified to the knockout stage for the first time ever in their history, and also in the World Cup. Now let's look at the round of 32 and the teams who will be playing. Germany, the Diamond Shaft, will be playing Paraguay. The Le Bleu, France, will be playing Sweden. South Africa will be playing against co-host Canada. Netherlands will be playing Morocco. Portugal will be playing against Luka Modric's Croatia. Spain will be playing against Austria. USA will be playing against Bosnia and Herzegovina. And then the African giant or African champion. Senegal will be playing the Red Devils of Belgium. Brazil will be playing against Japan, and also Ivory Coast will be playing Norway. Mexico, another co-host, will be playing against Ecuador. England will be playing DR Congo. Argentina will be playing World Cup debutant Cape Verde, and then Australia against Egypt. Switzerland against Algeria, and lastly Ghana against Colombia. These are the round of 32 fixtures and the road to the final. So far as the World Cup is concerned, we got some interesting records in the World Cup, and honestly, the World Cup is always going to give you big records like this, and in the World Cup this year is not an exception. We've got good records. In the match where Ghana lost against Croatia by 1-2 or 2-1, Luka Modric assisted the second goal, being the oldest player ever to assist in a World Cup tournament. At the age of 40, he got that assist, which gave them the winning goal. Ousmane Dembele also scored a hat-trick scored the fastest hat-trick in the history of the World Cup, the second fastest hat-trick. The first was Eric Probst of Austria, who scored his hat-trick in just 24 minutes. Ousmane Dembele scored his in 32 minutes in France's last game in the group stages. That is where Ousmane Dembele made this record. Also, Cristiano Ronaldo has received a special golden boot for being the first ever player to score in 6 major World Cup tournaments from 2010, 2014, 2006 also, 2018, 2022, and this year, 2026. He becomes the only player to make that record. Also, when we move to Lionel Messi is now leading the Golden Boot race. So far as the World Cup is concerned, Lionel Messi is now leading the Golden Boot race with 6 goals in 3 games. Kylian Mbappe, Erling Haaland, Ousmane Dembele, Vinicius Jr. have all scored 4 goals each. Harry Kane, Yohan Wissa, Ismail Assar, Brian Brobbey, Ismail Saibari, Matthias Cunha, Dennis Undav, Jonathan David, Johan Mazambi of Switzerland, and then Elijah Just of New Zealand have all scored 3 goals or managed to score 3 goals in this year's tournament. Remember, Lionel Messi became the first ever player to score in 7 consecutive World Cup matches. This is a very big history, or this is a very big record for Lionel Messi, who is continuing a very good or impressive run in this year's tournament. At age 39, he became the first player to score in 7 consecutive World Cup matches. He also extended the record as the leading top scorer in the World Cup after overtaking Miroslav Klose. He has now extended it from 18 goals to 19 after scoring a free kick against Jordan. Also, France also became the first team in this tournament to have 2 different players who have scored 4 goals in the tournament. Kylian Mbappe with 4 and Ousmane Dembele, the Ballon d'Or winner, with 4. Interestingly for Ousmane Dembele, prior to this tournament, he had never scored a goal in a major tournament for Brazil or for France. He had played in the Euros in the 2022 World Cup for France. But interestingly for Ousmane Dembele, he has managed to score 4 goals in this year's World Cup. And that is a sort of a very good news for him. And like I said, for the first time in the history of the World Cup, Africa managed 9 slots out of the 10, with Tunisia being the only team who were eliminated in the group stage. Also, when we go to the clean sheet, so far as the World Cup is concerned, it is Spain's shot stopper, Unai Simon, who is leading with 3 clean sheets. Also, the rest of the goalkeepers like Vozinha, who this World Cup became a revelation for him after his first game against Spain. He got almost over 15 million followers on IG, and also he has now become one of the famous players or athletes who is being followed in the world of football. He also has 2 clean sheets, and then what have you? Black Stars also have kept 2 clean sheets, but unfortunately in the first game where Lawrence Atisigi started, he didn't last 60 minutes in the game. That's why he was not given the clean sheet, as the rule states that you have to reach 60 minutes and then you will be what? Recorded, or it will be recorded as a clean sheet. But unfortunately he was subbed out in the second half after he picked up an injury against Panama. So Black Stars have also kept 2 clean sheets. And also Mexico, the co-hosts, are having quite a very good tournament. They didn't concede in the group stages of the World Cup. Also, when we come to the assists, as usual, the playmaking role, Michael Olise is leading with 3 assists. Also, Brazil's Bruno Guimaraes is also there with 3 assists. Alexander Isak is also there with 3 assists. The World Cup round of 32 will begin in few days, and so far as the World Cup is concerned, we'll be bringing you every other record which will be obtained or which will happen in the round of 32 until the World Cup comes to an end. Do not forget that there will be big matches in the round of 32. That is, I am really looking forward to the Netherlands versus Morocco, because this is going to be one of the biggest games that I will really be looking forward to. Also, Black Stars, before this year's World Cup, they have failed to beat a South American opponent, and in this year's World Cup, in the round of 32, they'll be playing against Colombia, so they have to try to break this curse. In 2006, which they came as their first ever tournament, they were eliminated in the round of 16 against almighty Brazil. In 2010, they were also eliminated against Uruguay, and in 2022, in the group stage, Uruguay also beat us by 2-0. We are looking at how Coach Carlos Queiroz, looking at the fact that he has also met Uruguay before, or he has coached Uruguay before. We are looking at how he is going to come up against this Uruguay team. Not forgetting their talisman, Luis Diaz, who is always on form in this World Cup. Also, the good old James Rodriguez, who had a very good tournament in 2014, is still here with the team, and we'll be looking at how Coach or Carlos Queiroz will manage to face them. He said it in his press conference after the crucial game that the World Cup is now about to begin. The group stage is just for warm-up. So we'll be looking at what Coach Carlos Queiroz will be doing against Colombia at exactly 1 a.m. Ghana time on Saturday. This is Sports Connect, and this is Blackout Media. My name still remains Hidel Ibrahim Sani. Do not forget to subscribe and then follow, like, tell a friend to tell a friend that Sports Connect is here to stay. Blackout Media is here to stay. Thank you.